India's caste census is back, and with it, a tidal wave of political promises, heated debates, and growing anxiety. Will this new data rewrite our reservation policies forever? Or are we heading towards a deeper divide? Hi everyone, I'm Jerry, and today we are diving deep into the burning question: will the new caste based census fuel more quotas? And what does it mean for you? This video is more than just news. It's your practical survival guide through one of India's most complex legal and social issues. Let's start with a fact that shook the system. In 2023, Bihar released its caste survey data, the first in decades. Suddenly, the OBC population was declared to be over 63%. Political parties pounced onto it. New demands for quota expansion flooded the discourse. This wasn't about statistics, it's about identity, opportunity, and survival. And here's the twist: Article 15 subclause 4 and 16 subclause 4 of the Constitution allows reservations for socially and educationally backward classes. But they never mention caste explicitly. So now the question becomes, can a new caste census legally justify new quotas? Or are we stepping into unconstitutional territory? Let's decode this legally. In Indra Swani versus Union of India in 1992, also known as the Mandal case, laid down the foundational principle: caste can be a factor to determine backwardness, but not the sole factor. This judgment capped reservations at 50%, calling anything more excessive and unreasonable. But then came the Maratha reservation case in 2021, where the Supreme Court struck down Maharashtra's attempt to breach this limit, reaffirming the 50% ceiling. But wait, what about the 103rd Constitutional Amendment in 2019 that introduced economically weaker sections, or EWS reservations, for upper caste? This wasn't based on caste at all. It was based on economic criteria, a historic shift. So now we have caste-based reservation, OBC, SC, ST, economic-based reservation, EWS, and now caste census based demands for more reservation. Confused yet? You're not alone. Now let's get personal. If you're a student applying for college or a young professional preparing for government exams, this debate affects your future seat, your job, and your next opportunity. Here's the hard truth: reservation is no longer just about correcting historical wrongs. It becomes a currency of political survival. I remember a young law aspirant, brilliant, hardworking, who couldn't crack the UPSC despite multiple attempts. When he asked me if the system was fair, I told him the system is complicated, but you must play the game smartly. Understand it, don't just complain about it. Which brings us to something practical. Understand your state's reservation policies. Keep updated on category changes post consensus. Track court cases affecting your community's status. And if you feel injustice, fight it legally, not emotionally. Let's talk politics for just a moment. Every major party has now its eye on the Jat, Muslim, Yadav, Kurmi, Dalit vote bank. And the caste census becomes a weapon in this battle. But when policy is driven by political pressure instead of constitutional principles, we create an unstable system. So ask yourself this: if reservation is meant to uplift the weakest, why are the creamy layers still dominating the benefits? This is why the Supreme Court in Judgements Singh versus Lakshmi Narayan Gupta in 2018 asked for quantifiable data to justify backwardness in promotions, not just a blanket caste claims. This is where the new census becomes explosive. It's data, yes, but data without accountability becomes chaos. Instead of fighting over caste labels, why aren't we discussing quality of education in rural schools, government job vacancies lying unfilled, the psychological cost of an identity built on a reservation tag? Reservation was always meant to be a ladder, not a lifelong identity. We need to shift the question from who gets the quota to how do we ensure no one needs it in 25 years. I grew up hearing stories of people who rose despite the odds. Reservation helped some, but discipline, grit, and knowledge built their legacy. And that's the real inheritance we need to pass on, not division. So, will the new census lead to more quotas? Maybe. But the better question is, are we building a fairer, stronger India or just a louder one? If this video gave you clarity, don't just scroll past. Share it with someone who's confused, anxious or angry about this debate. Comment below, do you think reservations should be expanded based on the new caste census? Or should we reform the system altogether? Hit subscribe because in the coming weeks, I'll be breaking down creamy layer loopholes, state-wise reservation tricks, and the silent war brewing over EWS seats. Let's learn, let's question, let's grow together. This is Jerry and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.